All right, sir, are Christopher Curtis Ray? And Mr. Ray, you were previously in court and entered a plea of guilty to...
Don't scroll. Imagine standing in a courtroom. Know your past is about to decide your future. This isn't just another case. This is Christopher Curtis Ray. Forgery charges. A long criminal history. And today it's all catching up. You can feel the tension. The judge is watching. The room is silent. Because this isn't just about what he did. It's about who he's been, and whether that can ever change. But here's where it gets serious. Can someone really
forgery of a financial instrument? It was enhanced to a third-degree felony. That was an open plea to the court. I have received the pre-sentence report. Has everyone had an opportunity to review that report?
We have, Your Honor.
Are there any additions or corrections to the report?
Not from the judge.
All right, Mr. Rojas, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Judge, Mr. Ray is here this morning asking for probation. I realize that the PSI, and he realized that the PSI, according to the PSI, this is, I believe, his sixth felony. He's only had, with those felonies look to me like he's only had one term of probation. It was revoked back in 2000, I believe. That's the only term of probation he's ever had for the felony. I suspect just he was in jail and probably had credit time served on the other ones. To his credit, even though he was not on probation, looks like during one of his terms in prison, he did some things to benefit himself. He successfully completed the safety program. He got his GED, and I think at one point he even he was sent to and successfully completed the ISF program. So he does have the ability, he has shown the ability to make progress.
Pause for a second. Imagine trying to fix your life from inside a jail cell. He got his GED, completed safety programs, even learned job skills. On paper, it looks good, really good, and judges do care about this. It shows effort. It shows intent. But here's the truth. One good chapter doesn't erase the whole story. The court doesn't just look at progress. It looks at consistency. Can he stay on the right path? Or is this just temporary? And this changes everything. Because in court, effort is noticed, but patterns are remembered.
Not as a condition of probation, something he did on his own while he was in prison to better himself. He's telling me that if he were to be granted probation, he's got a job, he's going to be able to go back to his previous job as an auto mechanic. The owner of the shop has reached out to him or told him that as soon as he gets released to go back, he still has a job there with him. He is the only caretaker for his elderly mother. His father died, I think, around 5 months ago. His mother is home living alone, and he would be the only caretaker for her since the father has passed away. It looks to me like he also has a case out of Harris County that he's currently on probation for. I talked to him about that. He says he's spoken with somebody from Harris County. They're not going to revoke him. I think there was a felony that came up after that probation, but they're not going to revoke him based on that. So he still is on probation in Harris County. And according to this PSI, at least he's a low risk for revocation on the probation. So we're asking the court to consider all that and grant him a term of probation.
All right, thank you. Ms. Alfino?
Now comes the big moment. The defense makes their move. They ask for probation. Let's break that down. Probation means no prison, but strict rules, supervision, and zero room for mistakes. It's basically a court saying, prove you can live right or else. Sounds fair, right? But here's the problem. 6 felonies. 6. That's not one mistake. That's a pattern of choices. So now the real question hits you. Would you trust him? Would the court risk it again? One mistake, that's all it takes. And suddenly, everything is on the line.
Forged check, which I assume had to be some kind of connection to the person at that business for him to get his hands on that check. Based upon that and his criminal history, I just can't in good faith agree with probation being satisfactory in this case. He's continued to commit the same type of offenses after this offense, and my read of it is that he's currently on parole, not on probation. And I feel like upwards of a 5-year sentence.
It looks like I think the way I read it, he's on parole and probation.
The prosecutor steps in, and there's no sympathy here. She doesn't talk about his effort. She talks about his pattern. Same crimes, same behavior, again and again and again in the justice system. Pattern is a dangerous word because it tells the judge one thing. This isn't. This is habit. And habits are hard to break. You can feel the shift in the room. The argument isn't about who he could be. It's about who he's proven to be. And now, the pressure is at its peak because the court isn't just deciding punishment. It's deciding.
And this one was committed after 3 felonies convictions. I mean, Mr. Ray, really, what Mr. Rojas said about you going to SafeP in the past and bettering yourself is great. And the fact that you went to ISF just in 2019 and that after that, I mean, it kind of totally just diffuses his whole argument, and he's trying to pull out anything to help you, and I appreciate he's doing that, and you should too, but all it does is point out to me that you have all the tools, and you continue to break the law, and the same thing of forgeries and burglary and fraudulent use of possession. I mean, it's just stealing from people or places, and I agree with Ms. Malfino. I can't in good faith put you on probation. It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty to forgery of a financial instrument freely and voluntarily. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of that. Sentence you to a term of 5 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Correction.
And then it's over. The judge speaks. Her tone says everything. Disappointment, frustration, finality. You had opportunities. You had programs. And you still chose crime. That's what it comes down to. Sentencing. Let's make it simple. Sentencing is a judge deciding the punishment. And today, it's 5 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. Prison. No second chance this time. The defense hoped for probation, but the past was too heavy. And maybe the hardest question of all, was this inevitable, or was there a moment where everything could have changed?
Do you receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive? This was not an agreement. I'm handing you the trial court certification of your right to appeal. You do have some rights to appeal. You can talk to Mr. Rojas about that. I have also handed you a written admonishment regarding your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. Because of the judgment entered against you, you're ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Possession of a firearm or ammunition could lead to charges against you. Firearm is a legal term, and you should read the written admonishment I provide you to see what devices qualify as a firearm. If you have questions about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or about how long that lasts, you can talk to Mr. Rojas. I'd like to start.